Go.
Hello, welcome back. It is Mike Ross. Today we're going to learn how to tarp outside. That's a good dog. That's a good dog. All right, come on over here. So the very first thing you need is a good tarp. This is an MEC Scout silicone tarp. Highly recommend it. I've done some modifications I'll show you. And the other tool is just a simple rope. So tarping technology is very important for groups because you need to sometimes set up and just have shelter. Tarps are amazing. Hey, I've got an assistant that's putting her teeth into things. Okay, so there's many different ways to tarp, but I've done this over, I don't know, 20 years of experience, and I'll show you with the dog how to do it in a pretty quick and efficient way. All right. Okay, so first of all, you got to look at the place you're going to make dry or wet. We're using this big space, but the more key thing is to look at the structures around. That's the tricky part. So you got to kind of map out what you're going to use as supports, because you need 2 right across, and then you need 4 to sort of tighten the tarp. Okay, so that's key, is looking for vertical structures that you can attach to. Okay, first knot, young Dom.
Oh God.
This is called a bowline. The 2 knots that you're going to need to learn is a bowline. So if you don't know how to do a bowline, I suggest you work on it. But you got your rabbit hole, you go down, around, and back up. This is the knot that I use 90% of my time. So bowline. Okay, and then I bring it across over here. And on this side, we're going to use what's called a trucker's knot. Now, key to a trucker's knot is you just grab it, a roll like this, and then you've got to make the additional roll or the loop through what I'm calling the slack line. You pull it from the slack end, not the tight end, but you make your loop there, and then that enables you to sort of, it's the trucker hitch, you can pull it nice and tight. Now get a close up on this. The next thing is how you, once you pull it nice and tight, you literally just do a 1/2 inch to close it. Boom. That's super easy, and you've got this tail here so that you can undo it really quickly. I'm going to be using that knot a lot so you can learn it again. Okay. So I've modified this tarp. Like I say, it's silicone based. It's really good. I have 2 different sizes. This is the smaller size. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and put these little guy ropes on already, using some more cordage. And that just makes life a lot easier. Okay, so once you've got your main rope, we're kind of making a tent-like structure. You can see that this is super reinforced. There's lots of little tie downs on these tarps. That's what makes them expensive and good. There's even one that you can do right from the middle that's really well, super strength. Okay, so once you've got it on here, you can put it down the middle, or you can really get creative. Then you take your little guy ropes and you move over to your 4 points of contact. Now, once again, I'll show you that we're going to use that same knot over and over. And don't get too worried right off the bat about getting it tight. So what you do is you bring it back to this existing loop, and then you just make a loop and shove that up there and pull it tight. Okay, so that's on a 1/2 hitch. Now don't worry about making it tight, because what's great about this is you can readjust it later. Same thing goes for over here. Now you also got to think like water, so if you have one end that's got to be higher than the other, so where your drainage is going to be, sometimes you got to get vertical. And got to hug a tree. Okay, and then this one's long enough to come back to this original, so get a close up of this.
Yep.
No, like right in on this.
I know. I was zoomed in.
Actually, I gotta do it from this side. So you come back to the original, and these are put on there by bowlines as well. So just pull it semi-taut, and then you once again make a loop. So make a loop, and then jam a loop, and then that will pull tight. Okay, now let's go to the fourth side. Okay, so on this side, you can look for whatever you can to solidify things. So I found a little knot, just a little screw. You kind of get creative on what you use to tie down your things. And with this one, you just do a simple half hitch, and that does the job there. Okay, fourth corner. Okay, so this is where I'll use that trucker hitch again. So I'm coming around here, let's say. Maybe this is more solid. And I don't have enough rope to get back to that loop.
Oh, no.
So, how do you solve that problem?
I don't know. How do you solve that problem?
You get it. You get once again. You take your twist. So you make your loop, and then you make your second loop out of the slack end, not the tight end. The slack end. You make another loop. That's what you can torque on. So then you go into here, and you can torque on this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you get to play around.
Wow.
So now it's not quite tight, so you can come back to this end. What's great about this is stay there. See how I can just pull that loop, keep that thing, tighten this up nicely. It's getting there, and then watch this again. Pinch it, make a loop, bring the loop through, pull the loop, and that's tight. And we'll do one more on this side. And this is where what I love about this is now you're just torquing on this, wrenching on this to get it nice and tight. So then you go, once again, you go up, loop, through, pull, and you're in. So if I was a water droplet, it's pretty good. I think I'd actually want to tighten this end of it. Take a look at that. You got one.
That's a pretty good tarp.
Yeah, and the water's going to run off this edge. So then you've got shade, you've got rain coverage. And the third thing is if you do have a paddle or something like that, those can be used also to prop this up if you want more of a tent style. That's the last option, but you can even secure it that way. Okay, great. Now I'm going to show you how to take it down so it's ready for you when you come back and it's not all tangled up, because those guy ropes can get tangled. Okay, you're done with your tarp. It's very important to put it away in a good way. A, you don't want to put it away wet because you'll get moldy. And B, just so you know, these little loops I've made are also with the bowline. And what's beautiful about a bowline is it can pull really tight, but the knot can come out easily. So when you're putting your guy ropes away, it's kind of a climber's technique. You just go back and forth in your hand. I don't like to loop things because they start to get a bit of an attitude. Looking after your ropes is kind of like looking after your teenage kids. They can have an attitude. You want to train them well. Okay, so then you just go back and forth, loop this around a few times, and then just shove it back in underneath. It's called a full hitch. And you just pull that so it's relatively tight, and that stuff will stay together in your bag. So we're gonna do that to the other four corners and then stuff it away and you're done. So I'll show you again, it's really easy because you can just pull on this. This loop comes out automatically. Go towards the corner, grab it with your left hand, just lay it back and forth and back and forth. You can make as big a loops as you want. Then when you got that little tail, wrap it up, and then you just pop the little tail through this, pull it semi-tight, and then that's a nice little bunch. We're gonna do that two more time and then we'll stuff it away. Now we look at always sticking things back into bags can be a challenge, and your biggest challenge is air. You wanna just avoid stuffing air into your bag. So I grab it by the centerpiece like this, and then you just want to fold it, and as you're folding it, you're squeezing out the air. And then once you get most of the yellow stuff there, take your stuff sack, pop it in there, and then it's just the last little bit of rope. Shove it in there, and you're away. So we don't have a bin of disappointment for tarps, but you can get disappointing tarps. These MEC guide tarps, this is a bigger one. These things are worth its weight in gold. This is called the guide tarp because it's really big. It's 4 meters by 3 meters. This one's more of a family size scout tarp. But do yourself a favor, get a really good tarp if you're taking kids outside. All right, signing off till the next time. Thanks so much.